Hello, Internet. It is I, the Malik Aaron, and welcome back to Box Office Predictions. Today, we're going to be talking about DC League of Super Pets. So, as usual, we're going to be going over the pros and cons. So, let's get to it. Pros: this movie combines two things that many audiences love: superheroes and talking animals. A winning combination for sure. Because obviously superhero movies, they've made how much money? Billions upon billions of dollars. It's stupid money. Let's just call it stupid money. So there's that. And then talking animals, I mean, there are so many talking animal movies out there, both animated and live action. I guess if I could think of one off the top of my head, there's Secret Life of Pets back in 2016. That made nearly like $900 million. So that's one big example. And yeah, like obviously combining those two things should print money theoretically. So yeah, being a part of, having two different genres collide into one, two successful genres collide into one, I would say is a good thing. So that's pro number one. Pro number two is the voice cast. Now, usually, I think like having celebrities like in animated movies, like thinking, oh, they're gonna prop up the movie. I think it's a bit overrated. That's why I usually don't talk about it. But here it's a little more important because this movie has been like promoting two names out of all the ones that you see here. Two: Dwayne Johnson and Kevin Hart. There are our main two leads here. So these two guys, The Rock and Kevin Hart, this is not their first team up together. 2016, they teamed up for the first time for Central Intelligence. Thanks to their combined star power, that movie did very well. And they teamed up several more times. They teamed up for the recent Jumanji movies, Welcome to the Jungle and The Next Level, which were extremely successful. And now we're here. So having these two in a movie just prints money, as the past has shown. Let's look at them individually. So The Rock, he's one of the biggest draws in Hollywood, easily. I mean, this man has had so much success, it's crazy. So it all started with like the Scorpion King. Well, technically there was Mummy Returns too, but really the Scorpion King. He's had some flops, Doom. That's a big one. He's had some underperformers, but I think after Fast Five, that's when he like really hit it big in terms of movies. Like that's when things got great. So you got Fast Five, and then Journey 2, G.I. Joe Retaliation, Fast Furious 6. He had four movies back to back, back to back to back to back in 2013. That's insanity. They all did all right in the grand scheme of things. Hercules did You got Furious 7, $1 billion hit. San Andreas, which was literally him dealing with an earthquake. And it made $450 million. So that's great. And there's Central Intelligence, what I just said, made over 200 million. Then you got Moana. Then you got Fate of the Furious. Baywatch was a bomb. Couldn't save that. Then Jumanji Welcome to the Jungle was insanely successful. Then you got Rampage, which did really well. Skyscraper, which didn't do so well. It was saved by International. You got Hobbs and Shaw, which did fine. Jumanji Next Level, which did really good. Jungle Cruise, that movie was kind of screwed because of both COVID and being on Disney Plus Premier Access. So, but it was one of the few movies last year to make 100 million domestic in the States, so it's got that going for it. And then here we are now with DC League of Super Pets. This is even his last movie coming out this year. Not even his last DC movie. In a few months' time, we'll have to talk about him again when it comes to Black Adam. So there's that. So that's The Rock. Now to Kevin Hart, which I argue his track record is even stronger than The Rock's. It's a little more consistent. Kevin Hart's been around for like a long time, but he really didn't start to, really get going until like 2012. Like, Think Like a Man. After that, success, just constant success. His stand-up, Let Me Explain, is one of the biggest stand-ups of all time, box office-wise. Then Ride Along was a smash hit for him. About Last Night did all right. Same goes for Think Like a Man 2, Wedding Ringer, Get Hard, Ride Along 2, Central Intelligence, Secret Life of Pets. I just mentioned Secret Life of Pets. Theories again. um, let's see, Kevin Hart, What Now? I really want to count Captain Underpants. He wasn't like a big part of that promotion. Welcome to the Jungle, Night School, Upside. Secret Life of Pets 2 kind of underperformed, so I'm not going to count that. Next Level from Jumanji. And then he's been on Netflix recently with Fatherhood, Man from Toronto, and soon enough, Me Time. But yeah, The Rock and Kevin Hart's track records are pretty stellar in the grand scheme of things. They are definite draws. Like the numbers don't lie, and the history doesn't lie. Not to mention, there's like other notable cast members. We got Keanu Reeves as Batman, which puts a smile on my face. You got my man John Krasinski, love him, as Superman. And yeah, like the cast is pretty good, but it's obvious the two heavy hitters are The Rock and Kevin Hart. So yeah, a decent voice cast that might bring people in. I consider that a pro. So it's pro number two. Pro number three is that there's no real competition. Well, it's definitely no direct competition this weekend. Or, I mean, there is Minions 2, but that's literally about to reach its fifth weekend. So it's definitely old news. And Paws of Fury, that died the day it came out. So that's going to be a non factor. And when it comes to competition later on, there's nothing. There is literally nothing until freaking October with Lyle Lyle Crocodile. So this movie has a long time to play out. So that's really good. So I would consider that a pro. Lack of competition now, lack of competition for the long future until October. So those are both really good things. So that's pro number three. Pro number four, might as well mention like the DC license. I already mentioned the whole superhero bit. But we have to be more specific. DC, I mean, they haven't been doing super great. I mean, thanks to HBO Max experiment screwing over both Wonder Woman 1984 and the Suicide Squad. Although I'd argue Wonder Woman 1984, well, it would have made money because people would have saw it and not realized how bad it was. Like if they would have saw it, realized it was crap, but by the time they realized it was crap, it was too late. There goes their money. So it probably would have still done well. And also because of, the success of the first movie. But it definitely got screwed hard by COVID and HBO Max. So, yeah. But recently we had The Batman. That did really well earlier this year. And that proved without a shadow of a doubt that the HBO Max experiment was a massive mistake because The Batman made more in 3 days than any HBO Max experiment movie made total. So, there's that. And yeah, just having like all the main players of DC in this movie, I think might really help it out. It's not just the pets by themselves. Like you also have the superheroes there with them. So yeah, I would consider that a pro. And I guess also there's Crypto. I know of Crypto. I know he had a cartoon in like the mid early 2000s. It is real. It is real. It happened. I can tell you what happened. So people know who he is. I also know Crypto from freaking um a Robot Chicken sketch where he had to get neutered and Superman used his heat vision, like his laser eyes, to neuter Crypto, and then out of revenge, Crypto neutered Superman with his own laser eyes. And yeah, that's that whole sketch. That sketch has just been stuck in my head ever since I saw it like all those years ago. So that's how I know Crypto from from two cartoon. Well, a cartoon and Robot Chicken. So some people already know who he is. So that could help too. Uh Reviews, they're all right. I guess that's be the next pro. They're okay. They're decent enough. It's at 71%. That's not great, but it's not terrible. It's just good. And its audience score seems to be good too, 85% as we speak. So reviews, word of mouth won't be much of a problem. So that's a pro. I think that's it. Okay, cons. I think one of the biggest cons for this movie is there's never really much hype to it. Like no one was exactly jumping up and down to see this movie. It just felt like it feels kind of like a non-event. Like no, it does feel like a non-event. I mean, I guess families like they already spent their money on like Minions 2 and I guess to them, well, to kids that was like the big event. And to this, it's just like, whatever. I guess I'll watch it on HBO Max in like a month and a half, which is probably what I imagine a good amount of people are gonna do. So, yeah, just it's never been that much hype surrounding it. So, lack of hype, even though it's had like a decently strong marketing campaign, I think a lack of hype is just con. So, that's con number one. Con number two, this is from trying to find Warner Brothers Animation Group. Boy, their track record has been hella inconsistent. I mean, they started with the Lego movie, which did, well, awesome, for lack of a better word. Massive, massive success. Then you got Storks, which did okay. Then you got the Lego movie, Lego Batman movie, which did pretty good for like a spinoff. Then you got Lego Ninjago, which did not do very good. And then there's Smallfoot, which also merely did okay. It's not on here, but there's also Lego Movie 2 bombed. Just like Lego Ninjago, to the point where those two movies were essentially franchise killers. So that's not great. We can't mention Scoob because that got screwed very hard because of the pandemic. So just screw that. It's not worth talking about that. And now we're here with DC League of Super Pets. So yeah, very inconsistent track record here. Like they started off on a high and then it's kind of been downhill ever since. So yeah, very much like a uneven history with Warner Animation Group. I think that's definitely a con. So that's con number two. Con number three is its preview numbers are pretty darn weak, if you ask me, considering the fact that, kids, like, what's stopping kids from watching this movie on Thursday night? Nothing. They don't have school. So theoretically, it should have done pretty decent preview numbers, but no, it only made like 2.2 million. For comparison's sake, gotta find a good comparison. I guess we can look at Minions too. I mean, came out earlier this month, so might as well look at that. So Minions 2, we look at that. That had a preview number of 10.75 million. So DC League of Super Pets, its preview number was a fifth of Minions 2. So that's really not good. Granted, Minions 2 is part of like this massive brand in the form of Despicable Me, multi-billion-dollar brand. Well, DC is also a multi-billion-dollar brand. But when they haven't released too many like animated movies, well, theatrically, there is a endless amount of DC animated movies, in the home market. Some of them are really darn good. Some are kind of, but others are kind of There's just an overload of DC animated content, but not too much in theaters. So we really don't have that much to go off of. And the fact in its premium numbers been like so much lower than say Minions 2 or even say freaking Sonic 2 or hell even Lightyear. That's not great at all. So that could be an omen for its box office this weekend. So that's not good. So week preview number con. I think that's it. So opening weekend. A couple weeks ago, I was thinking maybe this could hit 40 million. I think that's achievable. Could happen. this preview number tells me that's not gonna happen. So, um, well, Minions that had like a multiple of like 10. So we do the same math for DC League of Super Pets. That'll be an opening of 22 million, which would be terrible for this type of movie. I'm gonna be a tad more optimistic and say between 25 and 30 million. I don't expect it to be like front loaded because family movies usually aren't front loaded. So, I mean, 25 to 30 million, which still isn't great. But if it does worse than that, then oh no. I guess I'm gonna have to put in like the loser category when I do my summer recap video, which I'll make in like a little more like early September. But hopefully that doesn't happen. But the way it's looking right now, if I feel like it will happen, so yikes. So 20 to 25, no, 25 to 30 million opening weekends total. With like no competition, it should have long legs, realistically. But I'm gonna say, I don't know, um, 80 to 90 million total. I think that's achievable enough. I think its legs will be a little worse than say The Bad Guys, which came out earlier this year. But I think its opening weekend it'll probably be on par with that. The way things are going. So yeah. Yeah. So that's DC League of Super Pets. So we got one more movie to cover this weekend, and that movie is Vengeance. And then that's it. That's it for July. Yeah, you can tell this it started out real hot with like Minions 2 and then Thor 4 and then things just took plummeted afterwards. And in August, it's not going to be much better. I'd argue it's going to be even worse. Like there are some movies that could be hits in August. Bullet Train definitely one. Probably the biggest one easily. Bullet Train and there's Beast. Beast could be a sleeper, and Dragon Ball Superhero should have a really good opening weekend before it dies after that. But yeah, just August, just besides Bullet Train and Dragon Ball, even Beast, it looks pretty pathetic. So, ugh, yeah, just real ugh. But what can you do? So yeah, anywho, yeah, that's it. That's all. Make sure to subscribe, like this video, leave a comment, turn notifications, share the whole drill. Want to check out more videos like this? I got playlists on the homepage. Fill with all previous prediction videos I made this year. When it comes, I've covered pretty much all the major family movies this year. I covered what? Sonic 2, The Bad Guys, Lightyear, Minions 2, freaking Paws of Fury. If you want to know any of my thoughts on those movies, you can watch those videos or any other prediction videos I made this year. So go right ahead and you can do that. There's also the canceled series where I go over all the movies that were supposed to come out but didn't. I've covered DC League of Super Pets apparently once, and that was like in March because, yeah, episode 112. This is supposed to come out in May, but then it got pushed to July because a lot of VFX work needed to be done with like Black Adam and Aquaman and Flash, and all those got pushed back, and then Shazam got pushed up, and it's just a whole mess. But yeah, talked about it then, episode 112. So basically, majority of that video is just a bunch of DC movies. So you should be able to find that one with ease. So you can go watch that or any other cancel episodes. I'm now up to like 142, I think. Let me check. Yes, 142. So if you want to watch any of those episodes, binge it from beginning to now. Go right ahead. I encourage it. There's also box office recaps where I go over the box office results for any particular month. Next week I do my July recap midweek. So should be interesting. There's not that much to talk about really, but it's like the last big month we're gonna get for a while. So there's that. So stay tuned for that video. But if you want to watch any of the past recap videos I've done on the channel, you can go right ahead. And yeah, that's it. That's all. I am out. Goodbye.